Family financial planning is my theme for today. When I talk to family businesses, family planning, family financial planning is key. Of course it is. I think one of the most important things is that you talk to each other, and it's really hard to do because when you're talking about planning your finances within the family, you're often talking about two things that are quite uncomfortable. You're talking about money, and we're sort of conditioned not to talk too much about money because it's sort of vulgar. And also you're talking very often about your own mortality, and nobody really wants to either consider it or address it. And we don't really want to talk about our parents or our grandparents' mortality either, because it's sort of distasteful. But it is really important to talk about it because it can have a huge impact on your family, both its finances and actually its well-being. So let's think about some of the things that we need to talk about. We do need to talk about tax. Passing assets between family members. Inheritance tax, once it kicks in, is at 40%, and 40% can really destroy the wealth that you might have taken a lifetime to create. So thinking about how that can be avoided can be really important, and it can be important to people as they get a little bit older. With that, people have two ages. They're either like me and far too young to talk about inheritance tax, or there's like a week when you're old enough, and then after that, well, you're too old. It's too late. So I think it's important to address it while you are too young, really, to be talking about it, because that's an awful lot better than when it's too late. And inheritance tax is a really funny old tax because it's like a colander. It's it's so easy for things to slip out of the net, but it does take some thought beforehand and some planning and maybe a little bit of sneakiness to make sure that your assets pass through the calendar rather than rest in it. And you might think that inheritance tax planning is all about giving away your assets. Well, that's not always the case. It can be the sort of assets that you have. You might want to think about that, and it might be something as simple as paying for your grandchildren's school or university fees. But I really believe that family financial planning really isn't just about tax planning. It's not just about avoiding inheritance tax. There's much more to it than that. Concentrating on tax and inheritance tax, though, is only part of the story and only part of the way in which you can protect your assets and make sure that the next generation and generations after benefit from your hard work rather than have it as a burden on them. There are many ways that you can do this. Some of this is technical, so you can create trusts that can help your grandchildren or your children, but I don't think that that's very relevant to many of my clients. I think very, very often making sure that your grandchildren and that your children have a firm financial education and actually understand how money works, how you can enjoy the money, how you can enjoy the wealth and retain the wealth whilst enjoying it. I think those are more important in many ways than just saving a bit of tax and setting up a few structures and that sort of thing. And I think this is something that's very personal and something that really depends on the personalities within your family and just what they're like, whether they that they can take the responsibility of having wealth now or whether they need protecting. There are many ways in which this can be done and many ways in which this can be sort of thought through. So if you want to think through how you want to plan your finances, perhaps plan your family's finances, then please get in touch, because I think it's an important thing to do, and it's something that you might feel uncomfortable with and they might feel uncomfortable with, but it's something that needs addressing. And maybe like setting yourself a target of the 5th of April to do it. It's slightly a false target, but a target is necessary because it's something that's really, really important, but not urgent. And things that are really important and a little bit uncomfortable, but not urgent, tend to be the things that get ignored and forgotten. And doing it next month turns into doing it next year, turns into doing it in 10 years' time, and never. So please get in touch. And if you like these videos, please like them, please subscribe to my channel. I'm looking forward to hearing from you.